2023 is now over. Throughout the entirety of 2023, 10 episodes of BFDI came out. Since I'm bored, today I'm going to rank all of them from worst to best. Before we begin, this is entirely my opinion. Subscribe and hit that bell! This is the only episode in 2023 that I would call bad. Before I start talking trash about BFDI 7, how about we talk about the good stuff about it? The best part of the episode is definitely Tennis Ball's story. This is the biggest thing TV has ever done, and they did a very good job with it. The opening by Fiery Speaker Box is cool. TV's song is the best song I've ever heard. Unfortunately, all of that does not make up for the rest of the episode. The challenge is extremely boring. Yellowface is not funny in this episode. I don't know how Bommy got the prize. Bungie is at his absolute worst this episode. This episode had the potential to be good, but the potential was wasted. I already made a video on BFDI 8, so if you want to know how I feel about the episode, then go watch that video. If you were to ask me what the worst Teapot episode is, I would tell you the worst one is this one. Teapot 4 is a good episode, but there are a lot of things that hold it back. The biggest issue of the episode is definitely the challenge. The challenge is okay on paper, but when put into practice, it is basically only used for character interactions. Speaking of which, while most of the interactions are cool, this also causes a lot of teams to not have much screen time. Now that I'm done complaining, let's talk about why I like this episode. The best part of the episode is the return of several locations. I never thought it'd be cool to see David land again, but this episode proved me wrong. On top of that, this episode is also pretty funny. I don't know how to end this segment.
He questioned the rules of yo-yo chess. Nobody questions the rules of yo-yo chess.
Teapot 8 is interesting in the fact that I don't know if I'm biased to it or not. Either way, the one thing I don't like about this episode is the number of plots in it. While the plots in this episode are enjoyable, there are so many that they get overwhelming. That's the only major complaint I had for this episode. The characters that everyone hated were used in a good way, the jokes are funny, and even though this episode isn't amazing, I can't really complain about it. Teapot Free is the third episode of Teapot, which has a theme park, which is similar to how Madagascar Free has circus. Teapot 7 is basically Teapot 4, but better in almost every aspect. While the challenge still isn't great, they did a better job with this one. The character interactions were fun. The return of Blue Rectangle was epic. I want to go visit Yellowface's dimension. In conclusion, Teapot 7 is better than this cat. What can be said for most Teapot episodes can be said for Teapot 5, but what puts this episode this high up on the list is the humor. When I first saw this episode, I laughed about 50 times. Plus, the more golf ball, the better. When I first saw Teapot 6, I wasn't that huge about it, but the more I rewatched it, I came to a realization. Teapot 6 is one of the best episodes in the series. When people first saw this post, they were excited for IDFB 2 to come out. Instead, we got one of the best episodes in the series. Teapot 9 is the best episode in the series. The character interactions are amazing. Barfbag is extremely underrated and this episode proves it. Blue Rectangle is in this episode.